If you live in Kenya, especially in Nairobi, you'll probably need one of this. To stay alive, to save your life. My name is Caroline Kithama. Welcome to the HEWS network. Have you ever asked yourself what exactly constitutes the exhaust fumes released by matatus, bodabodas, buses, lorries, private cars, name it, which you inhale on a daily basis? Did you know that every time you leave your house, you increase your chances of developing lung cancer, pneumonia, heart disease, and other respiratory diseases purely from the air you breathe? According to a UNEP report in 2011, 90% of urban pollution is found in fast-growing cities in developing countries, and it is attributed to motor vehicle emissions. This means that other sources of air pollution, which include open-air burning of garbage, biomass, industrial pollution, among others, only contribute to about 10% of this. Exhaust fumes also constitute 40% of the particulate matter in urban areas, making it the single largest contributor to air pollution in Kenya. What makes it even worse is when the car uses low-quality fuels, is second-hand, old, and poorly maintained. According to Marie Thynel, an urban researcher at Sweden's Gothenburg University, who led a study of Nairobi pollution in 2015, she indicated that the amount of cancer-causing elements in the air within the city is 10 times higher than the threshold recommended by the World Health Organization. Her research uncovered dramatic pollution spikes on all of Nairobi's main roads. The level of air pollution, she mentioned, is uncontrollable and is particularly deadly in slum areas for pedestrians, drivers, street vendors like hawkers who sell wares in traffic, and traffic police. Statistics indicate that 4 million people die worldwide due to air pollution complications. Motor vehicle emissions components include particulate matter, carbon monoxide, sulfur oxides, nitrogen oxides, and other volatile organic compounds which react with sunlight to form ozone. It also includes formaldehyde, benzene, which are highly carcinogenic, and soot. Now, many of these pollutants have health effects which, with short-term exposure, may include wheezing, coughing, shortness of breath, constant headaches, phlegm, and sore throats, as well as irritation of existing respiratory conditions such as asthma. Long-term exposure, on the other hand, may lead to pneumonia, heart disease, lung cancer, asthma, and other respiratory diseases. The number of vehicles in Nairobi doubles every 6 years, which then translates to more traffic jam, hence more exhaust fumes emission. In 2003, the government set the age limit for imported vehicles at 8 years, phased out the use of lead in petrol in 2005, and reduced the standard limit of sulfur in fuel from 10,000 part per million ppm to 500 ppm in 2010. However, in spite of all these efforts, Nairobi is still one of the most polluted cities in the world. Rob De Jong, UNEP's head of transport unit, in a 2016 report mentioned that the number of cars in Africa is still relatively small, but the emissions per vehicle are much higher than the rest of the world. He went on to say that Africa is urbanizing and motorizing faster than any other region in the world, and that its pollution is not yet at the level of New Delhi or Beijing, but it's quickly getting there. Respiratory diseases are now the #1 disease in Kenya, and that is directly linked to air pollution. It is rapidly on the rise. One of the main reasons for this is because very few cars in Africa, including Kenya, are new, with majority being brought in from Japan and European countries, in which some of these old cars are dumped on us because they no longer meet the first world countries' pollution standards. Michael Guattari, an environmental scientist at the Kenya Institute of Nuclear Science and Technology, predicts the country will have a very sick population in years to come. Even what limited data there is suggests that it is around 30 times worse than in London, and that Kenya is building up an immense health problem. 30% more diesel is being burnt in Nairobi compared with 5 years ago. Without doubt, the pollution will have a huge economic and health impact. We will see more and more cancers and heart diseases, many more asthma cases and respiratory diseases. About 2 years ago, UNEP launched a real-time air pollution monitoring equipment in Kenya, which was overseen or presided over by the then CS for Environment, Professor Wakungu. She mentioned during the launch that at least 50 more monitoring units will be set up all over the country. Well, I'm not sure if this has been done yet or if there's any progress on this. At least I haven't heard this being mentioned again. I believe I will be correct to say that Kenya lacks the proper capacity and reliable technology for this. So far, little information exists in Kenya or other countries in Africa on the exact levels of particulate air pollutants in urban areas. And you know what? This lack of data then significantly hinders health impact assessments, which will have assisted in the formulation of strategies that are cost-effective to decrease the health burden due to outdoor air pollution, including the planning of the transport sector and other policies related to health and air quality. You will be surprised to learn that 88% of deaths in developing countries that are attributed to outdoor air pollution occur due to purely the lack of proper monitoring data on the level of air quality on a day-to-day basis. These deaths, of which particulate matter 2.5 is a major contributor on adverse health effects, include increased post-neonatal infant mortality and other premature deaths related to heart and lung diseases. Now, for us to understand and be in a position to quantify the effects of exhaust fume emissions caused by vehicles, especially in traffic, on PM 2.5 concentrations in Nairobi, this will greatly assist to improve the level of information which would urgently be needed to influence and support policies aimed at improving health through decreased transport emissions. This will then go a long way in reducing healthcare costs rather for the government and the local mwananchi, including an improvement in the economy since there will be less workers taking sick leaves, leading to way better productivity. Well, I would like to hear your views on this topic, plus what kind of solutions you think we can come up with as a community or the citizens of Kenya, and also what you think the government should do regarding this. I will be discussing this topic further in the next video, including viable solutions that can be implemented. Okay, so thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and share buttons. See you in the next video on the 15th of October 2018. Toodles!